No, I think, you know, uh, I can never remember whether it's in Mark or John in the Bible, where Pontius Pilate is supposedly seeking the truth about Christ. And, and he says, what is truth? Is it the truth? Is the truth about this man, or is the truth about what will happen if I make the wrong decision, for example? I mean, I'm quoting it very, very badly here. But so I think that there probably is not absolute truth. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't seek to find facts. It doesn't mean that we should lie. I think the reason lying becomes so serious is because to make a society, to do things, to make buildings stand, to do a heart transplant, to do anything that is important, we have to know that the people around us are telling us things that are real, if not true. We have to be able to rely on the things that we are told as fact, because we want to believe that someone went and tried something first and therefore learned that, and they come and say, well, I've been outside and it's raining today, right? So we learn to trust that and make decisions upon that fact. So I don't know if I'm really a seeker of truth in terms of, like, is someone telling the truth? I think I'm really a student of, I'm a student of human beings. Yeah, I think that's a better way of putting it than that I'm a seeker of truth. I'm a student of human beings and their motivations and what causes them to do what they say they're going to do, or what gets in the way of that. I think it's very hard, in fact, not to see reality through the lens of your own experience. And I also think it's difficult to put past experiences behind us, past experiences that become that lens. It's very hard to change that lens, and we don't have a version of surgery to help us do that. I suppose we used to think that things like psychotherapy could help with it, but now most people go to a psychopharmacologist, and they're less interested in the process of telling their myths to someone who should understand them, and tearing those myths apart when they don't help. One of my favorite artists is and was Jacob Lawrence. And I interviewed him when he was quite old, and he was talking to me about growing up uptown in Harlem. And I was very interested in how somebody who grew up uptown in Harlem would have been able to mingle as well as he did. He was embraced by the downtown art crowd, that is to say, the white, mainstream art crowd, embraced him, his work. And, he talked about how when he was a boy, if a white man were to walk on the street in Harlem, or if he were to go downtown and see white men walking on the street, he would automatically think to himself, that's a lyncher. So to him, every white man was a potential lyncher. Just like, there would have been white people who would believe that every black man is a potential rapist or thief. Well, he thought every white man was a potential lyncher. And so I said to him, well, how did you get over that? And he said, well, he said the simplest thing, but it had such resonance, I thought. He said, it's just like when you're a child and you believe that there are ghosts and goblins under the bed, and then one day you don't. And so many of us have different kinds of ghosts and goblins. We might think that we aren't so attractive because somebody told us that. Or we might think that we're very attractive, that we should be on display because somebody told us that. Or we might think that we have to lie if we've done something wrong. So we have these things, these past experiences that begin to almost predict for us how we're going to behave in any given situation. And I think it's very hard to recraft them. And I'm very interested in how people either succeed in recrafting those things or not.